Gentlemen, welcome to the 2023 version of the 725 South Main Street Fantasy Football Draft Lottery. It's an exciting season. This is our 20th, our gold anniversary, or our old gold anniversary. We've had a lot of people come and go over the years. It's interesting to look at the historical data. I dove into the numbers, looked at where we've been, where we're going. We've had 7 original members. Myself, Ketchum, Cook, Arash, Finney, Houston, and Moss. Danny just missed one season off. Garsh missed a few seasons in the beginning, couldn't quite figure out if he liked us or not. Kept coming in and out. Sick and Jesse at 8 years now. 8 years. And the town at 3 years. I'm not worried about who was here before. They're old news. We've had a lot of different players come through. Would you guess that we had guys like Stu, Jeffries and Drugs twice each? Jimison, didn't remember that. Rita, obviously. BJ, Brian Warlow is in this league. That happened. Kevin Ireland was in for a season. I did not remember that. And a guy named Rob Tillotson that I interned with at the New York Rangers in 2004. Why he was in the league, sorry about that. But that happened. We also had some nice foreshadowing in the league early on. You got a 2007 team name by Finnegan called Townie's V-Necks. Who would have known that 12 or 13 years later, Townie would have joined? Good job, Finney. Ketchum, did you know that for the first 13 years in this league, he changed his team name every year? And none of them are any good. I mean, you guys know that, but let me just run you through the list. It's very confusing. Started off with Better Be Sure, which clearly he wasn't because he kept changing. We went to number 45, well before the Trump situation, so he couldn't have been foreshadowing that. Dagger, okay. RIP number 21, his second team name with a number sign in it already. Fire Snyder, all right, maybe some foreshadowing. Tillman Jersey, my favorite one. Tillman Jersey, just we're naming our team after apparel. BBS, we're coming back to Better Be Sure, but we're going with the acronym. Lighters. I don't know if it was a lighter or just he wanted to be lighter. Lighters, 24/7. Can't measure it, but I bet you can. I bet you can. We can measure championships, so we're going to measure that in a minute. Cole and Hart. Next season, going to Hart and Cole, 2015. Hart and Cole, 2015. Then we went to True Detective 2017. Now, that was the following season, so 2017 was actually not until the following season, so we're going True Detective 2017 in 2016. More confusing than the name itself is the inaccuracy of the year. Then, some lightning struck and he went True Detective and he's stuck since then. Best team name ever, can't get away from it. Thank you for the laughs over the years, Ketchum. I always love it. We started with 14 teams, actually. So we just had this big debate about Jeffries, 14, awkward. We actually started with 14 for 2 years. There was another year, a couple of years after that, where we had 10, but otherwise we've always had 12. And I love that. Let's stick with that. We've had some funny things in the draft over the years. Jay Ajayi going in the first round a couple of years ago by Arash, but the most random in looking through all the data was Dominic Williams in 2005. I believe it was Finney. I feel like I have a pretty good memory. Teams, players, these kind of things. I've never heard of this person. So we didn't know anything in 2005. We were all kind of figuring it out, but apparently whoever drafted that person knew even less. Now let's talk about draft picks, since that's what we're here for. Who do you think has had the most number 1 picks? And do you think that's a good thing? The most number 1 picks in this league, with 4 over the last 19 years, is Arash. But no championships. So let's just go ahead and say, you may not want that first pick. But the pick you do want, when you look at the numbers over the last 19 years, the winning team, when you look at those numbers, the average draft position, both the mean, the median, and the mode, not even both, all 3, number 7. That's your average winning team picked at 7. The most common winning team picked at 7, and even the middle number was 7. So everything across the board, you want to be the 7th pick tonight. We'll see who gets it. Now I got to ask you a question when we're talking about all-time records. Who do you think has the best record of all time in this league? Best regular season winning percentage. There's a lot of different people it could be. Let me throw you a little fun statistic before I drop that. There's 2 teams that have the exact record. Moss and Cook have the exact same record over the last 19 plus years. That's crazy to think all these games have been played and those 2 teams have the same record. But it's not either of those teams. Would you guess that the best record in the regular season was Mr. Brian Finnegan? I wouldn't have. I didn't see it coming. But my man Finney has himself a 56.4 winning percentage, which is not a remarkable thing. We're not talking about 75%, but it's by far the best in our league. Well, not by far, but it's the best in our league. Congrats, Finney. Does that lead to championships? No. He's got one. He's got a loss in one by a stat correction. You might remember it. But that doesn't necessarily lead to championships. You know who has the most? Houston with 4. So not the best. I think he's got the 5th or 6th best winning percentage overall, but 4 championships. We'll get back to that because it's been a long time since Houston's had a lot of success. Now, looking at top 3 finishes, who's finished in the top 3 the most often? And that's where you find your man, Mr. Brian Finnegan. 8, he has the most. 8 out of 19 seasons he's finished in the top 3. That's pretty excellent. Now, bottom 3, the reason that Finney's got such a good record is he only has 3 bottom 3 in the 19 years. That's pretty good. Leading the way in bottom 3 finishes, Mr. Rob Ketchum with 8. 8 out of 19 seasons. Good job, buddy. Now, let's just get into it. We're here for the draft lottery. We give a little background. I'm going to drop some charts at the end here, give you guys a little background. It's fascinating stuff. It's really cool to look at over 20 years. Happy to have been on the ride with you guys. Looking forward to another 20 of them. So with that, we got ourselves our draft picks. Jumping in now. Let's go opposite. Let's go with the 12th pick here. The 12th pick in this year's draft goes to Ketchum. Now, looking at Mr. Ketchum's scorecard here, I'm going to bring that up on the screen. As you can see, we have ourselves a 44.8% winning percentage. Over the years, he's gone very heavy on the running back position. Actually, only one other team has picked running back more often, and that's the Commissioner. Ketchum is an average win of about 5.9 wins per season. Not excellent, but he's an original member, 19 seasons in the league. He got second place 7 years ago, so that's something to talk about. And he's first in all-time losses, first in all-time bottom 3 finishes. He is a 14-time team name changer. He tries really hard, positive attitude. He is first all-time for time spent on draft picks. All of the time has been taken, so you can't beat that. And there's a lot of other statistics here, but I would say he took a first-round running back 12 years in a row. And he's entering his 20th season playing it safe. That's Ketchum. This is a man you can probably bank on doing what you think he's going to do. So let's see if he does it this year. Jumping into our 11th pick here. The 11th pick is going to go to Garsh. Jumping into Adam Garcia's scorecard here. As we can see, he's a 43.81 winning percentage. So not good, but how do you not like the Garsh? He said no to being in the original 725 league, and then 2 times after that came in and left. But he just couldn't quit us. He came in, he's been in since. So he's missed 3 seasons. Thrilled to have him for 16 years. He's a one-time champ. That's pretty good considering it's Garcia, and he's not even really trying that hard. He second all-time in bottom 3 finishes. Boom. 11th all-time in top 3 finishes. 11th, not 12th. He has 100% championship rate when finishing the top 3. He's never gotten the top 3 and not one. That's only one time, but good job. 5th all-time in losses. That's not the worst. I actually expected it to be much worse. And yeah, RIP Rob Baronis. That's Adam Garcia. He's at the 11th pick. We're going into the 10th pick. Sick. Jumping into Mr. Matt 6 scorecard here, and we got ourselves a 33.02 winning percentage. I can tell you guys that is by far the lowest. That is not good. That's a third of the games he has won. Now this is regular season. Again, playoffs probably not going to get any higher because I don't know if he's really made the playoffs much, but this is regular season, just so we're not aware of here. Career highlights. He replaced Stu. That's great. He's got an excellent team name. I'm not gonna lie to you, I chuckle every time I see it. That's very clever. He's been in the league for 8 seasons. First all-time average losses per season. Boom. First all-time bottom half finishes by percentage. He's finished in the bottom half 100% of the time. If that's not consistency, I don't know what is. This is a man that prides himself on being consistent, and fuck if he hasn't been consistent. He is first all-time in bottom 3 finishes by percentage as well. He's got 4 of them. That's half the time he's been in this league for 8 seasons. He's finished in the bottom 3. Consistently consistent. You cannot argue with those results. Ketchum is number 2 in that, by the way. At 42% of the time, he's finished in the bottom 3. So between Ketchum and Sick, these are very consistent human beings. You have to strive for that excellence. You have to work hard at it. He is yet to finish in the top half of the league. He finished in 7th one time, so super close in 2019. He tries really hard, all-around great guy, and just funny antics. That's pick number 10. Jumping into pick number 9. Arash. Jumping into Arash's scorecard again, an original member of 725 South Main Street. And he hasn't complained once. This is crazy. 20 years, not one complaint. So Arash is at a 49.6% winning percentage. That's actually a little higher than I expected. He is an original member, as I said, 19 seasons in the league. First all-time in the draft lottery winning. So he's never really lost his crown on number 1 picks. 4, nobody's got even close to that. He's second. He's a 2-time second place finisher. Boom. Go get it, buddy. 10 years ago and 15 years ago. That's almost a decade. First all-time free agent waiver moves of all time, millions. Who even cares how many? He's got the crown, undisputed. Second all-time in losses, that's almost number 1. Tied for 3rd all-time bottom 3 finishes. Top 3 right there. What else do we want to talk about? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really know what else to talk about, but good job, Arash. Happy to have you, buddy. That was the 9th pick. The 8th pick here is going to go to Finney. Oh, like I talked about with Finney, the all-time regular season best record. 56.4% winning percentage. Pretty good. 1 championship. His most common draft slot, 3. Maybe he should aim for the 7th draft slot. Statistically the best regular season player. He's the first all-time winning percentage. He's first all-time in wins with 141. First all-time in top 3 finishes. So it's not just that he wins, he's actually getting top 3 in the playoffs too. So that's pretty legitimate. He's not number 1, but he's getting top 3 more than anybody else. That's a pretty damn good resume right there. First all-time in average wins per year, of course, because he has the most wins. He's a 1-time champ, 2020. He is tied for 8th in all-time bottom 3. So again, he's also not finishing the bottom 3. So even if he misses the top 3, he's usually going to be somewhere in the middle of the pack. He actually surprisingly has the highest, best, whatever you want to say, of the average draft position. He's at 5.4. Nobody has a closer position in average to the number 1 pick. Not even Arash, who has the #1 pick 4 times. So Finney on average has the closest to the #1 pick. Let's call it that. He's a 3-time runner-up. Boom. He lost the championship on a stat correction, if you remember that. And one time he drained a chip in the pitch and putt course by the Mennonite University in Harrisonburg from the fringe. Just sank it. It was awesome. I was there. Good job, Finn. #7 pick is going to go to... Oh, #7 pick. This is huge, remember? This is our champion right here. Oh, man, Cook. I know you don't do well with pressure, so... Eesh. Let's see, buddy. Let's look at your scorecard. So Nick Cook has got himself a 55.6% winning percentage. That is excellent. That is tied for second of all time with, of course, Moss, which we've said, and just behind Finney. So these guys are pretty neck and neck for the best all-time record. He has 139 wins. Finney had 141. So really, really close regular season. He is an original member. He's a 2-time champ. He's our only back-to-back champ ever. Pretty impressive. Second all-time, as I said, tied for second in winning percentage, tied for second all-time in wins, tied for second or 7th all-time in losses, which you don't really want to be that high in that anyway. Tied for second all-time in average wins per year, of course. Tied for second all-time in top 3 finishes. So again, that's playoff finishes. So not only is he doing it in the regular season, but doing pretty well in the playoffs as well. So go Cook there. Now he's tied for 6th all-time for bottom 3 finishes, but he's tied with Sick, who has 10 fewer seasons in the league, and he's managed to get as many top or bottom 3 finishes as Cook. So pretty adorable, you guys paired up together, but also really impressive for Sick. Good job. He also drafted Frank Gore and Steven Jackson 3 years in a row in the kind of early 2000s, and he has not finished outside the top 6 since 2013. So he's kind of what you would say is the anti-Sick. He doesn't finish outside the top 6, and Sick doesn't finish inside the top 6. So there's like kind of a yin and yang thing going there. It's pretty perfect. Now we are in our top 6 picks. The #6 pick is going to go to Danny Whalen. Let's look at the scorecard here, buddy. I know you really wanted to be in that league the first year and you just didn't make the cut because we had guys like Rob Tillotson and Elbow BJ and Ireland and Jimison who for some reason made the cut ahead of you. I do love Jimison, but you know what I mean. Very confusing. So Danny has a 50.85 winning percentage. Just over that 50% of the time he's won. What did I just say? He was the 6th pick, right? So he's actually been the 4 pick 6 times. 6 times he's had the 4 pick. So surprising he doesn't have it this time, but middle of the pack seems to be where he lands. He is at 18 season. He's our reigning champion. So he's got the last laugh right now. 2-time champ, which is tied for 3rd all time. He is tied for 2nd all time with top 3 finishes with 6. So pretty good resume for Danny Boy here as well. Tied for 8th all-time bottom 3, 7th all-time winning percentage. So it starts to get a little bit average. He's kind of a even Steven 50-50 kind of a player, it seems. 7th all-time wins, 7th all-time wins per year, 6th all-time losses, 7th all-time losses per year. So again, you're kind of just seeing a middle of the pack kind of guy here. But he also no longer complains about having the high scores and bad record. That's gone away. That's been really nice to not have to hear that. So good job for Dan. I don't know what else to say about it. 5th pick coming up here. The 5th pick in this year's draft is going to go to the Town. Looking at the Town, only 3 seasons in our league, and we talk about even Steven. Talk about a balanced budget. This man is 21 and 20 in 3 seasons. He's trying to keep that budget nice and balanced. 42.45 winning percentage. Not excellent. But he's only 3 seasons in. His most common draft slot is actually the 7th pick. He's had that twice out of 3 seasons. Which is funny because the 7th pick is usually the winner, and he's got 2 times in the last 3 seasons hasn't won, so not good for him. Probably good that he's got the 5th pick because that 7 wasn't doing him very well. He replaced Rita, which is just too perfect. He is 5th all-time in winning percentage, so obviously that winning percentage I just threw out there a second ago is not updated. He's got himself a 51.22 so just above that 50%, which is pretty good. He finished in the top 3 in 33% of his seasons. So a third of the time he's in the top 3. If he can keep that up, that's pretty damn good. He's never finished a bottom 3 league. It's only 3 seasons, but still pretty good. He is our father figure, so we can never have any issue with that. So now we're coming up on our top 4 picks. With the 4th pick, Craw. Looking at the Craw Missioners draft history, we have a 52.19 winning percentage, 2 championships, and his most common draft slot is actually 10. He had that 5 times. So I believe, I think maybe it was the town, but of the players that have been around for the longest, I had the highest numbered average draft slot of 8.4. So I believe Finney was at 5.4, which is the lowest number. I was the highest. So kind of a little bit of a flip here that normally I'm 8.5, now I'm at 4. Original member, obviously commissioner for now 20 years. You're welcome. 2-time champ, tied up 3rd all-time, 4th all-time winning percentage, 4th all-time wins, 4th all-time losses, 5th all-time wins per year on average. Tied for 2nd all-time with top 3 finishes. Yeah, actually highest likelihood to draft a running back. I have done it 16 times, more than anybody else in the league. So as much as I like to catch him out for consistency, apparently I've only drafted a wide receiver 1 time and a tight end once and a quarterback once. So yeah, looking forward to picking here. 3rd pick is going to be Jesse Joel Myers. Let's look at Jesse Joel here. Jesse Joel, 42.45 winning percentage. He's 8 seasons in with us. He's actually one of those guys you don't know who's going to pick. He's gone 4 running backs, 3 receivers, and a tight end. So he's mixed it up quite a bit. He replaced JJ coming into the league. He's the 1st all-time in hilarious comments. He has 8 consecutive seasons where he has finished in a completely different ranking. So every single season he has finished a different slot in the final standing. So he has not finished 1st, 3rd, 4th, or 10th. If he keeps this record going, I'm going to be fascinated because that's statistically unlikely. 2nd all-time in average losses per year. Yeah, buddy. He is the fastest current mile time in the league. He's a runner. And he has the best all-time keeper pick. He picked Mahomes in the 13th and has kept him and probably will until he's in his 30s. Mahomes, not Jesse. He's already in his 30s. 40s, actually. So that's Jesse. Love it. Top 2 picks. Let's go with the number 2 pick here. Moss. Chris Moss, original member. Let's look at what you got, buddy. We are at a 55.6% winning percentage, tied with Cook, as we talked about, 2nd all-time. We're tied for 2nd all-time. Moss is the draft weirdo, kryptonite. I'll never doubt him, even though I did for years. He's just always got some good results. But he has drafted 12 wide receivers, 4 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, and a tight end. So when most people are heavy on running back, and I think everybody was, Moss is significantly higher in wide receiver, a trendsetter, you might say. Early on, he was drafting wide receivers when nobody else was doing that. So tied for 3rd all-time in championships with 2. Tied for 2nd all-time winning percentage, wins, and wins per year. Tied for 2nd all-time top 3 finishes. I feel like I could just copy and paste Cook's scorecard here. He's entering his 20th season of drafting like a maniac, which again, I'm not going to question it anymore. And he's haunted by the ghost of Donnie Edwards and his tackle rate. Sorry, buddy. And yeah, that's Chris Moss right there, number 2 pick. So that means our number 1 pick, the last person left, is Houston. Matt Houston Elam. Let's pull up that scorecard, guys. Matt Houston Elam is an original member. He has had a lot of early success in the league. Again, he has the most championships of anybody in the league at 4. But it's been a minute since he's gotten one. So let's just go ahead and break it down here. he is first all-time in championships with 4. Like I said, 6th all-time in winning percentage. So when you have 4 championships, you would think he'd be higher than 6th in winning percentage, but he's not. 5th all-time in wins, 6th all-time in top 3 finishes. Now he has 5 top 3 finishes, and 4 of those were championships. So you've got ourselves a little bit of an all or nothing thing coming up here, because he's also tied for 3rd all-time in bottom 3 finishes. So he's either top 3 and mostly winning, or he's bottom 3. He doesn't like that middle ground there. 3rd all-time in losses. We're going to go through all that, but he's only got 1 top 3 finish in the last 10 years. That's not good. That's not good. He needs to come back. And he's also the first all-time in percentage increase in beer consumption post-college. So welcome to the team. Happy to have you. That is our draft lottery. I will throw that back up here. I'm going to put a bunch of different charts up here as well, guys. Really interesting to look through the final historical data. 20 years, or I guess 19, now 20 years. It's been a friggin' awesome ride. Been awesome bringing guys in, kicking guys out, bringing them back in, kicking them out again. Love the 12 we have. Looking forward to another 19 or 20 years. And reminder, draft is next Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Next Tuesday, September 5th at 9:30 Eastern Time. Be there. Be square. Love you guys.